Welcome back to another quick review. Oh my god, it is early in the morning, and I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really thought about what I'm gonna say. This just kind of had to flow out of my mouth. All right, today we're talking about the Marvels. Movie came out about a week or two ago. At this point, um, I don't know. Time sucks, but I haven't gotten the chance to see this until last night. Last night was Thanksgiving, and I decided to go see the Marvels. And I have thoughts. So when reviews first came out for this movie, a lot of them were like, I saw more positive comments than I expected to see, but there were a lot of mixed negative comments. It is 50% of Rotten Tomatoes at the time. Nobody knows what that means. Basically, it means that 50% of critics liked it and would recommend it. 50% of critics would not recommend it. That's the quick and dirty of it, right? And so I went into the Marvels with mid to low expectations. I wasn't a fan of the first movie. I think the writing of that movie, I'm going to say this as a writer myself, right? I have to always preface that before I start criticizing stuff that I might not know about. As a writer myself, creative writer myself, I think that the first movie, isn't great, especially when it comes to the writing on Carol's character. It's just so unbearable. It's so bad. So I went into this movie not expecting much, and I was genuinely surprised. I was. I really enjoyed myself with this movie. Um, the movie still has a lot of issues. Don't get me wrong, but I still really enjoyed myself. I think it was a fun time in the movies, and that's pretty much what I could ask for at the end of the day. A fun time at the movies. I don't want a boring movie like The Creator or something, right? Basically, right. I'm not gonna get too much into the plot, into like the main plot. Although I will be diving into spoiler territory, but that's like to do with my criticisms. Start with the positives, right? Amal Vellani, Amal Vellani is still great in this role. Um, she just gives off that energy that uh, makes this role just outstanding, right? She does. That was say what you will about Miss Marvel. 'Cause that show, I think half of that show was good, half of that show wasn't. Um, Monvalani's they killed it, which is kind of a common thing for these Disney Plus shows. Is the show itself doesn't end up being good, but the actor is amazing, right? Monvalani was great. Tiana Paris, I think, was the weak link of this movie. That's not saying that she's bad. I think she's still a good part of the movie, but I think out of the three, she's the weak link. Um, by that I mean there's just not much she's given to do until the end. It kind of is focused on Carol and Miss Marvel, and more Carol than anything, because this technically is her second movie. We haven't seen her in a movie since Endgame, and then we haven't seen her solo movie since 2019. So this is her movie, the first appearance since then, right? I think Brie Larson stole the show. I think the writing of this movie compared to the first Captain Marvel movie is just significantly better. It is significantly better in every way, shape, or form, to the point where I think Carol Danvers, Brie Larson, is genuinely like the best part of the movie, which is crazy because I think that in the last movie, the writing of said character was not great, so it made her insufferable and cocky for no reason, when she had absolutely no reason to be cocky, and her character arc was, all right, I'm stronger than I think I am. That's her character arc in this entire movie. There's a bit in that movie. There's a bit more than that, but that is essentially the basics of her character arc. And in this movie, you see there's depth to the character. There's emotions to her, and what she did and how she ended up at that point, as well as the whole thing with Maria and Monica, and then the freaking Prince and the musical planet was that. First of all, that entire sequence was really cool. The musical planet, which was like adding a whole new level of depth to that character, and then the ending with fulfilling the promise to Monica, and as well as her interactions with Miss Marvel. I think Carol was genuinely the best part of this movie. It is crazy for me to say that, considering how I think of the first movie. As well as I think my last thing before I get into my criticisms. Um, you know, The Flarkin scene is a work of art. The Flarkin scene is actually really, really good. I absolutely adore that scene. It's so good and it's so funny. It's so like it's actually pretty smart at the end of the day. I think that scene is great. Criticisms, right? Movie is like 30 minutes. It's missing like 30 minutes. The movie is the shortest MCU film I think. Is at an hour 45 minutes long. You can definitely tell because the movie kind of just ends, right? The movie feels like it does have an abrupt ending, whereas like it feels like it needs an extra 30 minutes to plan that out because it's like the villain dies in the most anticlimactic way possible, and I'll get to her in a moment. She dies in the most anticlimactic way possible, and then 10, 15 minutes later, Monica does a thing, and then the movie is over. And I disagree. I think there should have been more. I think there should have been at least one more confrontation with the villain, or the villain gets what they want, and they had to stop that. Like they had to really, really stop that, rather than the villain getting what they want and spoiler territory, right? The villain getting what they want and then immediately dying afterwards. I disagree with that part. And I could kind of tell from the beginning stages of the movie, but I was like, how does this play out? It's very apparent in the last 30 or 45 minutes of this movie that there's like 30 minutes cut from it because there's definitely stuff missing, right? It definitely feels like there's something missing because it kind of jumps from one point to another and it's very off guard. It caught me off guard. Um, villain's trash. I think the acting of the villain is great. I don't know her name, the actress who played the villain, but I think her acting is great in the role, right? It's just the backstory, the motive is like cool. You're not really giving me much to root for, all things considering. The Kree in the last movie were not great. Were very, very, and it's good intentions, but when you have the person from the villain race in the last movie come back in this movie as like the villain, but also try to make them sympathetic, I disagree. Also, I just don't think that she's that memorable of a villain. Like not a stereotypical villain plot, but it's like villain motivation. Hero destroyed my home. I'm gonna get revenge for people in this home. However, the way she did it was cool. Trying to steal the sun. The entire movie felt like a Sunshine reference in a way. But yeah. I thought the villain was kind of meh. Move on for that before I start tripping over my words. I think that's been all my criticisms. Like CGI was pretty good. I think overall I still really did enjoy the movie. I didn't expect to enjoy the movie as much as I did, but I really did. I think this movie is a solid 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching this quick review. I wanna do more. I promise, but I have so much other stuff going on. Plus, playing games on the second channel. Go check that out. I will see you next time. Bye.